Welcome, everybody. Nicole and I are cracking up because let me just tell you, should we tell them?
Yeah.
It's kind of inappropriate, but we should tell you. So right now, my goal today was to be #1 on the bestsellers for women in business on Amazon. That was one of my goals today. I am currently #2. And the only book that's beating me is called Lady Balls. What is going on? We can't have Lady Balls beat one box at a time. So we're here. We're talking to Nicole because I have featured Nicole in chapter 9 of my brand new book, One Box at a Time. This chapter is called Keep Going, Keep Growing. And we're going to talk about Nicole's journey and how she's kept going and kept growing and stepped into the CEO of her business. Let me just give you an outline of what we're going to talk about in the next 30 minutes. Nicole came into my world in October of 21. Was it 21? 21. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I've found this gap. We're going to talk about this. I'm just going to give you a high level. She found a gap in the market. She launched a one-time holiday box. It was so successful that she turned right around after the new year and launched her subscription box. Within that year, she grew to over 800 subscription boxes. That turned into her winning the epic SubSummit Cube Award for Best Pet Box. We'll talk about that too. Then she started a second subscription box in a completely different niche to a completely different market. And we're going to talk about how Nicole has stepped into the CEO role in her business. Nicole, welcome. You're not new around here. I get to talk to you about the tech things. We're not talking about the tech things today, but I want you to take everybody back because you know that I have a lot of people in my world that are just starting their business. They're just starting their subscription box. Take me back to that moment. You jumped in to launch your box. You're like, I'm going to start a subscription box. Tell me how the idea for the subscription box came.
I actually joined the group with the idea of launching a subscription box in the dog space, in the dog pet space, because that's where we had been kind of functioning for a while with my business. And we did the 60-minute Post-it note challenge. Is that what we did? Yep. Yeah. 6 and 60. Got all the ideas. And I was kind of looking at this going, I feel like this is like it's been done, or I wanted to try something like more innovative. And so I took a break, stepped out of the office, went over to the room where I have my newly adopted guinea pigs that I adopt during the pandemic.
Newly adopted guinea pigs. Can we talk about a fun fact? Because you know that I'm a reality TV junkie, and I watch this show called 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
This guy has guinea pigs that are like his children, and every time I see him, I think of your guinea pigs. Yes.
I heard about this. I don't know if we go to that extreme, but we do love them very much. Very much. So Ginny and Pidge were the new additions in October.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like hanging out with them, holding them, thinking, what could we do to make this a little more innovative? And then I kind of looked at them and looked at the Post-its I had, and I was like, I wonder if anybody has made a box for guinea pigs. I mean, I know there must be a rodent box out there, right, of some sort. Who knows? So I started researching, and that marketplace just kind of seemed to be empty. And I said, either there's a reason, like maybe somebody tried and failed, or just maybe no one really tried. So let's get crazy. And you say the riches are in the niches. So I was like, what have we got to lose? Let's do it.
Okay. So we start the G Pig box specifically for guinea pig owners. Mm-hmm. And we start with a holiday box. You launched like a one-time holiday box right around this time 2 years ago. It's almost like good vibes because you were launching the one-time box, getting ready to launch your subscription box. I'm getting a book deal right at the same time period. And who knew we would merge it all together in these
chapter 9.
And just so can we note this, everybody that is going to get your book today, if you go over to page 154 in chapter 9, Ginny and Pidge have a shout out right in page 154. They will forever be remembered in this book. So we're just putting it out there. So you launch this holiday box, and what happens?
We had 280 people sign up almost immediately.
280 people.
Yep.
In a niche that you had no audience building in. You just started it. You think I'm gonna start a subscription box because there's a gap. I want a subscription box for Ginny and Pidge, and there's not one out here. Yeah. I bet there are other people looking for a box for their guinea pigs. Exactly. I'm gonna start one. I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna just put my product out there to see if this has any traction.
Yeah.
And it did. And it had a lot of traction. And because you're a tech genius, you very quickly threw the website together, got a subscription box, and we launched in the next year. And tell us what happened.
But wait, pause there. I'm a tech genius, but I knew what I was looking for. I had a roadmap because of Launch Your Box. So it wasn't just like, I have this idea, let me do it. It was more like, I have all of these resources to do this thing. So what's the thing I'm going to do with this roadmap?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a combination of the two, absolutely. But it helped that I had some background in Shopify, I guess.
Yeah, just slightly. So you came into Launch Your Box and you're like, okay, if I'm going to do a subscription box, Sarah's telling us step by step how we need to do this. I know how to put the tech together. I'm going to just get it done. And you're just a quick start. You're a lot like me. Like when you have an idea, you just go for it. You put it out there. You don't overthink it too much. You just go for it. So you just went for it. You launched the GPIG box. And tell me what happened throughout the year, that last year when you launched your subscription box.
Oh man, we had crazy highs. We had extreme lows. Remember when our ad account got hacked for 5 months? Like that was crazy, but you move in from this, getting started role and you kind of evolve and have to become a leader of your company and grow. I had to grow so quickly. I don't know if I looked back or I could talk to myself and say, hey, if you're going to do this, this is how quickly this is going to move. I would never have believed it, right?
It's or only might not have done it. You might have been scared to do it if you knew how fast it was going to grow, right?
Yeah, I probably would have overthought it. So I'm glad we just started with a plan. You gave us a plan, A, B, C, D, let's do this. And we did, and it worked, and it was successful. So then we went from shopping for 100, 200 boxes to now shopping for 450 boxes to now growing at 25% month over month to then forecasting, wow, what kind of purchasing power do we have? What can we do differently that everyone else is doing? Maybe instead of buying the same stuff that's out there, we make our own things. And we really just went from seeing if it worked to confirming very quickly. And then boom, we were just immediately at scale.
Yeah, you were. And so here we are. We've had an incredible 2022. Mm-hmm. And you enter the Cube Awards. And let's talk about SubSummit, because SubSummit is an event that I do every summer. It's the largest B2C subscription box conference. Mm-hmm. And so there is everybody there. There is like the FabFitFun, the Ipsy, the Boxy Charm, like every HelloFresh, like every big subscription box that you're like, oh, I dream of being that box, mm-hmm. to all of us who are small business owners and people that are just getting started in the subscription box industry. And so we go to Cube Awards, and Nicole is nominated. The GPIG box is nominated in Best Pet category, the Best mm-hmm. Pet Box category. You're up against the Kitnip box. Kit, is that right? Kitnip?
Mm-hmm.
You're up against BarkBox.
BarkBox.
What else were you up against?
Pretty Litter. Bully Box, I think, was the fifth.
She was up against the biggest pet boxes that are out in the industry. And Nicole wins the Cube Award for Best Pet Subscription. And tell everybody what happened when they announced that you were the winner of this.
Honestly, I kind of blacked out. Our whole group, which was kind of in the side and in the front, just exploded. But I feel like all my buddies from the FedEx booth also exploded. They were really excited. But I think everyone was surprised and really excited because we were kind of the underdogs.
You were the underdogs.
Yeah, for sure.
So what Nicole's talking about is Launch Your Box has reserved seating at the Cube Award. So we had about 150 members that were out at that event. And we were all sitting there and oh my gosh, we were rooting for you. We were cheering for you like, yes, she's one of us.
Mhm.
Her win is our win for all the small business owners in the world. She's up against the Bart Box. She's up against the Kipnip. And so when she won this award, we thought we all won. Like we were all so excited. And it was a true testament that number one, small businesses like us can compete with the big box businesses.
Mhm.
Okay. That was the number one proof right there. Number two, you can do anything that you set your mind to. You placed yourself in that room, in that position to win that because you had a really great box. And it just gave us, all the little people, all the little small businesses that feel like, oh, I'm never going to be FabFitFun. Oh, I'm never going to be Ipsy. I'm never going to be BarkBox. I'm never going to be HelloFresh. I'm never going to be those. But we don't have to be.
Mm-mm.
And a lot of times we don't aspire to be.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing here is creating profitable businesses that are paying us well and changing our lives.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
When you get to 800 subscribers, what does that do for you in your business, Nicole?
Oh boy. It allows us to scale. It allows me to hire people.
Yeah.
It allows my spouse to quit their job and come work full time, and us to still maintain a roof over our heads and go on vacation and put food on the table. And freedom, I would say, if we could summarize this to one word: freedom. On a Wednesday I can go have coffee with a friend and I'm not behind a desk 9 to 5 waiting for that paycheck to come in. We now have the freedom to really dictate what we want to do and what we want our future to look like. And that's priceless.
Priceless. So you had an incredible 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, I've had so much success with the big box. It's really something kind of cool. I got an idea. Tell us about your idea.
It was actually, my wife is the big thinker. She's the conceptor, and she doesn't like to be on camera or the forefront of anything, but I owe all of this as much to her as, every bit of Launch Your Box.
Katie, shout out.
My thought, but Katie, everybody, Katie is really the big thinker. I definitely got the guinea pig box started, and she looked at me like, you're crazy, but okay, if anyone can make it fly, you can. So she got up one morning and she goes, I had a dream. And I went, uh-oh. She goes, we got a rabbit and we started a box. And I was like, oh, you're not wrong.
So she had a dream that you guys got a rabbit. Had you gotten the rabbit yet?
No.
So you don't even have this rabbit. You got a rabbit, and then you turned what you did for Ginny and Pidge into the G-Pig box. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to get a rabbit, and you're going to give this rabbit a box too, right?
Yep. Yeah. So she said, we got to start a rabbit box. And
did you go shopping for a rabbit? Like, how did this happen?
We went on Facebook rehoming groups in the area, and somebody had a really nice bunny that they were trying to rehome. And so we went and met who's now Olive, our little black bunny. And sometimes you see her bopping around on TikToks because she's a free roaming rabbit. So she walks around the house like she owns the place. And now we were in another marketplace. We had a different audience. The logistics of the box and the products were similar, and we could overlap quite a bit. So that was helpful that, when we're packing guinea pig boxes, we can also pack rabbit boxes. But, it was a very thoughtful plan of how can we stretch the volume, but kind of work within the same plan of what we're doing with the guinea pigs. So we launched Bunny Box officially March of this year. Mm-hmm. This year? Yeah. Okay.
It's happened so fast. You're like, what? That was 5 years ago. No, that was this year, Nicole.
This year? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bunny Box. So now we have almost 500 subscribers in the Bunny Box.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know you had that many subscribers.
Yeah.
Last I knew you had like 300 subscribers. So now you have almost 500 subscribers for the Bunny Box. You're killing it with the G-Pig box. And so tell me about when you just rinse and repeat what you've already learned, you were able to grow just as fast, if not faster,
Oh, yeah.
with the new box because you didn't have a lot to figure out. You knew logistically how this worked. You knew about packaging. You knew about marketing. You knew about audience building. It was, we just have to take what we've done in the guinea pig market and do it again in the bunny market. And you already knew what worked. You already had a successful, viable subscription box. Why wouldn't I just take what I know and do it again? You just had to go get another mouth to feed.
I just had to go get another animal. Yeah. So, but she's great. She's the inspiration behind all the bunny stuff. And rabbits and guinea pigs are very different. And we kind of just assumed, oh, it's the same. It's the same. It can be the same. The audience is the same. Not at all. So while some of the foundational things are rinse and repeat, some things are a lot of fun because we're relearning it again, or we're getting a new education. Or our ass is handed to us because we don't know what we're doing. One or the other. No, it's been great.
Let's talk about that. Speaking of getting our asses handed to us, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
You're over 1,000 subscribers. And you did that relatively fast. Like, let's be honest, in about 1.5 years, you've done that. And it was something completely different and new for you to have a subscription box business. And so there's a lot of growing pains that come with growth. And I want to talk about that because some of the people that are in, watching right now or in our community are going through growing pains right now. They're growing really fast. One of the biggest headaches when growing really fast is we become really cash strapped because we are having to buy so much product ahead of actually selling it because we're growing. We're having to put all of our profits back into re-inventory because we're growing at a rapid rate. So that really happens. Also, you can't just pack 800 boxes by yourself anymore. So we've got to figure out, what does hiring look like? Also, I know there was a point you were doing this out of your apartment, your home?
Our garage.
A garage. Okay, garage. And so what's that next step for you? And that's a challenge. Like, how do you go from doing this in your living space with over 1,000 subscribers? And what does that look like? Fulfillment changed for you. I know that you were shipping out the way I teach in Launch Your Box, which is on a fulfillment day, on a packing day. You changed to doing that all month long, which has worked well for you. So let's talk through some of that. So let's talk through the cash flow, because I know that's a real problem for people that are growing fast. Let's talk through that.
Cash flow was the biggest concern initially. And we took very much care in trying to offer something that could be shipped relatively quickly, but essentially was a pre-order so we could have that cash available to us. So I think what you taught and what we started doing for the first, I think only 1 or 2 months, just because we scaled so quickly. But when we launched, we had a pre-order. So in January, we had the website up. It was open. People were buying. They were purchasing for a March box. So that way we could then close when we had our capacity. We knew exactly how much to order and we had the cash. So January orders, February orders were a pre-order for March. And then by May, we had so many we had 400 or something boxes that we were like, well, we can't ship all these on the same day or on the same week even. So maybe we should start rolling subscriptions now that we know kind of what we can predict for cash month over month and what we need to purchase.
So you switched from having your cash drop all at once to you had a steady flow of cash coming in at all times of the month, because that's how you had your subscription set up. Like when someone went and signed up, that's when they were charged, and that's when they were charged every month. And so now your fulfillment's easier for you because it was just the two of you for a long time. And so you're able to just go in and pack the boxes for today. Whatever process yesterday, we're going to pack today. It wasn't like you had to do all 800 of them or all 1,000 of them or whatever that was in one day. You could do some every day, right?
Yes. Yeah. And now even with 3 of us, we have Chelsea. Shout out to Chelsea. We pack twice a week. We do a few hundred boxes, but they can bang them out. We can bang them out in a few hours now that we have a nice, easy system for that.
So let's talk about the hiring growing pains.
Oh yeah.
So I know that a lot of us small business owners are resistant to hiring quite a while. And there's reasons, like 1, we don't want to give up our profits. That's a big reason. 2, we don't think anybody else can do it as well as us. 3, we're kind of control freaks and we think we have to control and micromanage everything. And so we typically put off hiring until we absolutely need someone and we just physically cannot do it anymore. So let's talk about who your first hire was.
Yes. My first hire, I brought her on. She was just part-time. She would come pack in the warehouse. And then she could also, we moved her into doing some fulfillment things and stuff. And after a few months of that, I was pretty hands-off, which was great because I could stay in the seat here in the office and work on the marketing and work on growing to new customers instead of fulfilling boxes, or I could have somebody doing that without.
Because that's your zone of genius.
Yes.
You are the marketer. You know how to build traffic and leads to your business. And you were busy fulfilling several times a week where you could have taken that energy and done the marketing to continue to grow. And that's what you did. And that's why you continued to grow. If you would have said, I'm just going to pack, people will buy, it'll be fine. You wouldn't have had the growth that you had because you wouldn't have constantly been building content, pushing it out in the channels and doing the things that you were doing to market your business. And that's where a lot of small business owners get stuck, Nicole. Yeah. They get stuck in the doing the daily because of those things that I told you. We don't want to give up our profits. We don't think anybody can do it as well as us. We're control freaks and we micromanage everything. It's just our 4-step. It's our 4-step. If we just admit it now, we can go easy.
I'm Nicole. I'm the CEO.
But that's the problem. We get too busy working in our business that we can't see what we need to grow the business. And if you're wanting growth, you cannot get stuck in the day-to-day fulfilling, shipping, the day-to-day grind of your business. You need to be creating content for your business. If you're a small business owner, you are a content creator. And that's what Nicole leaned into. She knew that she needed to create content. She knew what content was important for her audience. And she spent her time marketing, creating content, and putting it out there on all the channels. And that's how her business grew. She didn't spend all of her time packing and shipping. She did do that in the beginning. She spent a lot of hours doing that in the beginning. But the minute that she hired someone, it gave her the freedom to work on the business and not in the business. And we get so stuck there. I was stuck there way too long. And I will openly admit that why did I do that? Because I was a control freak. And I openly admit it. You could go ask any one of them out there packing boxes right now. They don't even want me here on box packing. I walk by and go to the restroom. I'm like, oh, what are you? Nope. Keep walking. We got this.
Actually, do you remember my first SubSummit? We were talking about this and you were like, stop packing boxes. You have to hire somebody.
I couldn't even believe that you were still packing the boxes at that point because you had grown so fast. But that's what happens when you grow so fast. You just get the job done. Like I got boxes to pack and somebody has to pack them, right? So I'm going to go do that. And that's what we do as business owners. We just pick up where anything needs done. But if we don't stop long enough, you just needed me to like hit you over the head for 3 seconds and say, stop it. You can afford to hire someone. You can. And actually you cannot afford not to hire someone right now.
It's true.
Because you wouldn't have grown, or you would have grown and you would have grown out of control. You would have had bad customer service. You would have been miserable. You would have been exhausted and you would have been like, I'm shutting this all down. And I see business owners that do that all the time. They burn themselves out and they shut it all down.
Yeah. And that was probably the most important thing, to go from being a very busy small business to scaling and now becoming like a corporation, you know, because that was the step that you had to hire somebody and move into it, recognize that you need to move into a different role now. You're a different kind of business owner, and you helped me do that. So thank you.
Because there's things you have to figure out at this stage that you didn't have to figure out in the first stage, and things like manufacturing. Can we talk about that for a minute? Yeah. Because when you get to this level, you got to figure out how to manufacture your own goods so that you can be more profitable and put more money back in your business. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we're shipping out 1,600 boxes a month at this point, or 1,000 boxes a month at this point. And we talk about purchasing power, know who you are, recognize what kind of purchasing power you have, and try and shop around for great pricing. But even with distributors or people, other vendors that made this product for us, they either didn't have the kind of channel needed to sell me product, or their channels didn't have enough inventory.
Yes.
So like if I call my distributor right now and say, hey, I need 1,600 bags of this, they're like, we only have 100 on the shelf. We don't hold 1,600. Well, what's your lead time? I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks. Not a solution. That's not something we could work with. So a lot of our vendors we work with directly, and some of them don't push that kind of volume for us. So we were sort of in a place where we were like, okay, here's another gap in the marketplace. And we know we're the experts in our field of what they like, what they can have, what they can't have. So now let's make our own stuff. So that now this year, actually like a month ago, I don't even know if you know this, Sarah. We started.
No, I'm learning this. This is exciting.
I don't know if I have a product here. We started Squeaks and Fur. That is our manufacturing brand, specifically for guinea pigs, rabbits, and other small animals. So we now have a line. We have 8 SKUs right now of our very own products that we manufacture with our factories that are branded for only our stuff. They're completely exclusive to G-Pig Box and Bunny Box.
How cool is this? Well, are y'all listening to this? I want you to listen to this because there are so many teaching points right here. Mm-hmm. Nicole started this with a one-time box. One time, just to see if she could get proof of concept for starting a subscription. Okay? That sold 280 boxes so fast, she knew she had an audience that she could sell subscriptions to. She started her subscription box, grew to over 800 subscribers in that first year, then won an amazing award, came back, repeated it with another box that has over 500 subscribers. And now because of her buying power, because she has hired people to do the job she was doing, she has time to now develop and manufacture her own product line for all of her audience, not only for her box. So now she's her own supplier. But now she has products that she can sell to anyone for guinea pigs, anyone for bunnies, and she's creating yet another stream of revenue in her business. She has one with the G-Pig box, a very solid one, by the way. She has one with the bunny box. Both of these are reoccurring revenue. She can count on this money hitting her bank account every single month. And you know what? She's going to add a little upsell, a little add-on to her lineup with her whole brand of toys and treats and whatever she's creating. I'm sure it's going to be a huge lineup in another year of products. This is what you call the CEO of your business. And even if you don't have it figured out, we talk about Nicole being a tech genius because she's one of our tech experts inside our membership, because she knows a lot about tech and she helps our members get going on tech. But Nicole didn't know. She didn't have the master plan. She didn't say, yeah, I'm going to do this. She wouldn't have come to Launch Your Box if she knew how to do this. She came and took the strategies and tactics that I teach, not only in our membership, but throughout every chapter of this book, and applied it to her business. And that's why I put her in chapter 9, because for someone that just keeps going and keeps growing, she's an excellent testament of what can happen in literally 2 years. All I did was write a book for 2 years. She's built like 3 businesses.
You paved the path for us to then walk down and say, here's what Sarah said, here's what I did, here's what you should do. And I went, okay, let's try it. And there you go. Nicole,
that's what I love about like the book and what I teach is that it's not a one-off thing. Like it didn't just work for me. Like I told somebody on a podcast interview today that in the beginning, I just thought my success, I was lucky, right? But when I took on the very first student that I taught, and I taught them basically to replicate what I did and you'll be successful. And she sold out on her first launch. Like I was like, oh, I wasn't just lucky. I figured some things out and it's really worked for me. And I've watched person after person, hundreds, thousands of students take the same process and repeat it for themselves in their own industry, in their own niche, tweaking their own way of doing things. The way that I fulfill wasn't working for Nicole. So she's like, okay, I tried what Sarah did, but I think this would actually be better for me. I'm going to try it this way. And it works better for her. And I love that, because there's not one way to build a business. But if you have a framework to get going and get started, then you're going to learn a lot along the way, and you're able to tweak things that fit your life. And it's that freedom we're all after. It's that freedom Nicole was talking about that we're all after. We want financial freedom. We want time freedom. We want to go have coffee with a friend on a Wednesday and not have to go clock in. We don't want to have to ask our boss if we can get off early on Tuesday afternoon because our daughter is playing basketball. Like, we don't want to have to ask for favors because, you know, if I ask for Tuesday afternoon off, I'm going to have to stay late for Thanksgiving. Watch. You know, like, we have the freedom. We have the time freedom, the financial freedom, the creative freedom. We get to do whatever we want to do for our own businesses.
And I think what's so special about this group too, if I may interject.
Absolutely.
And when I won the Cube Award, this was the epitome of all of that, was our community, right? I won the Cube Award, but like you said, it felt like everybody won. We all had, and Jen also won a Cube Award for Best New Subscription for her door hangers. And like, it was just like, we felt unstoppable as a group. We were unstoppable. Everyone had each other's back and so excited. And I think, you know, it's funny, like, I love my family and I love my friends and they're such a huge support group to me. But I went up to them, even my wife, and I said, I want to start a guinea pig subscription box. They went, excuse me? And Katie went, if anyone can do it, you can. I don't know how that will work, but I trust that you can do it. And when I talked about it in the group, everyone was like, yes, so cool. Do it. That's going to be so cool. That's so exciting. How is that even going to work? Oh, I can't wait to see where this goes. There was nothing that was ever like, are you sure? Are you sure that's... And I think that's what's so special about the community in Launch Your Box. And I'm sure we're talking about this in the book as well a ton, but if it wasn't for the roadmap to get the freedom and build the business, it's also the community. It's also everybody that's here right now listening, everyone that comes to Tech Talks, everyone that's part of the group. That just makes it so much better too, because you have like-minded individuals and people growing their business together, and we're all helping each other.
Yeah. And it's like, there's the saying, community over competition.
Yeah.
It is so powerful. People do not understand the power of community. And we build it together in Launch Your Box, but we're also building it in our own subscription box businesses. And this is a perfect segue to my conversation tomorrow, because I'm going to bring you Stacey Collins, who has built an incredible community of subscribers, both digitally and physically. And we're going to talk about the power of the community. Nicole's talking about the power of the community that helped get her to where she wanted to be and continues. Like, we're rooting for you over and over again. Like, I cannot wait to see like this big old line of products that you're going to have at some point. And there's so many people that are going to be right there cheering you on. But the power of community, when it comes to know, liking, trusting, buying from you, subscribing from you, that's what we're building with these subscription boxes. Nicole, I have to give one shout out in the comments over here. Now, I don't know if you know, but this morning I did a live and I was just announcing, we were popping champagne. We were talking about my book was launching, and Deborah showed up to this live this morning and she said, I'm all the way to chapter 8.
Yes.
And Deborah has probably finished the book at this point. She's gone over to Amazon to review probably my first Amazon review, because an hour ago, I didn't even have any reviews yet. And Deborah, I just want to tell you how inspired I am by you, because clearly you want this. For you to soak in my book cover to cover in one day and show up to both of them, you've got to be sick of me today, really. You showed up to both of my lives today. I feel so inspired by you, because when you want something, the way Nicole wanted it, the way Deborah wants it, the way I wanted it when I started my subscription box, you go after it. You soak up the information, you learn from someone that has done it before you, and you follow their path. And you don't try to get off track too far. You just follow the proven path. And then once you've got that locked in, you do what Nicole is. You tweak it to fit your life. You tweak it to fit your business model, and you keep going and you keep growing. Nicole, I'm so inspired by you every single day. I am so grateful that you are a part of this community, and I'm so honored to share your story. And Ginny and Pidge, when you get your book, go check out chapter 9. She's like the first 4 pages in chapter 9. Go check out, you're going to learn more about her. You're going to learn how she was a graphic artist 15 years ago, graphic designer. You're going to learn more about Nicole in the book. But thank you for showing up for Nicole and I today. And I hope that she's inspired you to just get that one-time holiday box out there. Put it out there, build your audience, and let's start building our subscription box business. All right? I'll be back tomorrow with Stacy at 10 a.m. Central. I'll see you there.